Welcome back to Badass Websites here in BOMU. We are currently in Module 1, Website Basics, and we're in Lesson 4, Your Website Pages. In this lesson, you will learn the core pages your website needs and the purpose of your site pages. Before we get started, I wanted to say each and every page on your website has its own purpose, and each page only has one. This is very important when you're building out your pages. So let's quickly talk about your core pages. Your core pages are the pages that will show up in your primary navigation, and they include your home page, your about page, your products and services page or your work with me page, content feed page, and contact page. Quick important note, every core page on your website has the potential to be the first interaction a visitor has with your brand. Don't assume that a visitor to a core page on your website knows who you are or what you do, so write your page copy with cold traffic in mind. First, we're going to talk about your home page. So your home page's primary purpose is to direct your website traffic to your other core pages. It's like the air traffic control of your website. Your home page should bring absolute clarity to the visitor. A visitor should leave your home page knowing who you are, what you do, if they're in the right place, where they can go to learn more, like your content, and where to go to learn more about your offers. Your about page's primary purpose is to showcase your origin story and build your authority. It should help your visitor identify that they're in the right place. So while this page is about your story, you really are writing it to help your visitors know they're in the right place, and you want them to identify themselves in your own story, and or that you are the expert that they want to help them solve their problems. So even though your about page is about your origin story, you're really thinking about it that your about page is really about the person reading it. You want them to be able to identify with your origin story or see you and your transition into the expert that you are. You want them to see you as the expert that they want to help them solve their own problems. Okay, let's talk about your products and services page. This page will act as a menu to showcase your available offers and help the visitor find the one that is right for them. This is not the same as a sales page, okay? It's not simply about selling one specific offer. Here on this page, you'll showcase how you help them and help them decide which offer is right for them. All right, content feed page. This page is where your long-form content will be displayed on your site, typically a blog or podcast show notes. Your feed will chronicle all of the content posted on your site from most recent to oldest. So I mentioned that before, that this is most content feeds are posted in reverse chronological order, so the most recent's at the top. And then we recommend having some kind of long-form content as part of your content strategy. So even if you have no plans to have a blog or a podcast now, we do recommend thinking about a long-form content strategy. And it would be where your long-form content would live on your website. Having regular content published on your site is a great way to continue to bring traffic to your website. And traffic is incredibly important. Okay, your contact page is pretty simple. It will offer visitors a direct line of support when they need it. And it is a simple way to build trust with visitors. It also helps ensure that you don't lose visitors to unanswered questions, which kind of happens a lot if you don't have a place for them to reach out if they still have questions after reading your content. And this will also help you see the gaps in your messaging and copy so you can make it better, and making sure you're addressing common questions. What I mean by that is if you're getting a lot of questions about something that over and over again, there's a chance that there's a gap in your messaging and you're not addressing something very important to your audience. And when you get those questions coming in from your contact page, that'll help you figure out what you need to be adding into your copy, into your messaging, all of that. if you need to have a commonly asked questions section to answer those questions for people, or if you need to go back to your copy and fix it up so it's answering those questions for them. All right, let's talk about your other pages. There are opt-in pages on your site, sales pages, and confirmation pages. Other pages you'll create will include these three. Opt-in pages, of course, are for lead conversions. Sales pages are for sales conversions. And confirmation pages are for after a conversion has occurred. So it's like the next step. You're either confirming their purchase, or sometimes confirmation pages could be used for upsells as well. So your opt-in page is a page dedicated to one freebie and is optimized to convert a visitor into a lead. So each freebie that you offer should have its own standalone opt-in page. I know some people will say, oh, you just need a pop-up on your website. They click a button, a pop-up shows up, and that's all you really need. And that's great. That's an option. But you want to be able to send traffic to a page when you're promoting a freebie or a lead magnet. So if you don't have a page, you're not going to be able to do that. And the only way people will be able to opt in is through that pop-up. If they have pop-ups turned off, you're never going to be able to get those leads. So you definitely need to have a standalone opt-in page. Another thing to think about is that these little opt-in pages are kind of like mini sales pages that promotes only the free offer. So its primary purpose, again, is to convert a visitor to a lead. And so you don't want to just slap up a form and a picture of your opt-in. You actually want to build a small page that is actually talking about the value of the opt-in and why people should be giving you their information to receive the value in that freebie. Sales pages, a lot of you probably already know what sales pages are, but a sales page is dedicated to one offer and is optimized to convert a visitor into a buyer. So whereas an opt-in page is primary purpose is to convert a visitor to a lead, sales page is to convert a lead into a buyer or a visitor into a buyer. Okay? So each offer you have ready to buy should have a standalone sales page, just like each lead magnet you have should have its own standalone opt-in page. While an opt-in page is typically short and sweet, a sales page is more lengthy with copy optimized to convert that visitor into a buyer. All right, confirmation pages, aka thank you pages. Those are a page dedicated to what happens after a conversion occurs. And there's a lot of different things you can do on a confirmation page, but typically it's basically the next step. So you're going to tell them, hey, here's what's going to happen now that you have purchased or now that you have signed up. Here's what you can expect in your inbox if you're sending them something. If it's a direct link to accessing something, you're going to give them that link. And it's a great place to optimize to pull people more into your world, into your content, or into your community. So you can use that page to invite them into community. You can use that page to give them extra resources, sending them to extra resources on your website. Some people use it to put a video and to start the sales process for an upsell as well. So there's a lot of different things that you can do on the confirmation page after an action has been taken and a conversion has happened. So a confirmation page generally gives them information about what to expect after a conversion. It's pretty simple. Quick note, while opt-in and sales pages can sometimes go in your primary menu, confirmation pages never do, okay? Obviously, confirmation pages should only be seen by people after a conversion has happened. So you want to make sure that they are not linked anywhere other than in the process wherever that link should go after the conversion has happened. So if you have an opt-in page, your form thank you or confirmation page should be linked as the confirmation page. Sales page, whatever sales system you're using, the thank you page or confirmation page will be set up in your sales system. Okay, and that's it. Super quick and simple lesson. We covered the core pages on your website and the purpose of your site pages. We talked about little bit more about confirmation pages, what those will have on them. We also talked about things that go into your primary navigation and things that don't. Coming up in lesson 5, we're going to be talking about the most important do's and don'ts of your website design. So I know a lot of people are probably excited to get into design. We're going to get into some wireframes later in the course, but here we're going to talk about some do's and don'ts. It's super important. So I can't wait to see you in that lesson. We've got a lot of important things to cover. I'll see you there.